False Start, a college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for Fansided. I'm joined today by a man who's not getting his ass kicked like Ed Henry in the transfer portal, who knows more about the knuckle puck than Keenan Thompson because he's actually allowed to go outside because he's not on house arrest at Rockefeller Center. Cody Williams, content director, fansided.com. How are you?
Doing good, man. Yeah, it's always knuckle puck time in the Williams household.
Yeah, you know that I had this theory that Keenan Thompson and Jimmy Fallon aren't allowed to leave the building.
I mean, it's entirely fair. Keenan Thompson probably hasn't left in like 13 years, like at this point.
I found out he was a Falcons fan. I'm like, are you kidding me? And why?
Why would you? I mean, that's
He's
almost
fun.
like Ian McMillan being a Falcons fan, you know?
I mean, at least Keenan's allegedly from Atlanta before they kidnapped him.
That's right. Before they kidnapped him into all that.
You know, that's a little tough, but yes. But before you get kidnapped, be sure to give us a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Please, the YouTube shorts are really starting to pop off there. Some people don't like Kalen DeBoer, but people like what we had to say about Ole Miss, Mario Cristobal in Indiana, and maybe Oregon. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're always talking college football, so we'll have plenty more coming for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff's happening today. A lot is happening today, Basil. But yeah, the reason I'm so tired is, our first and 15 today is going to be a talk portal to me. The latest makings and shakings of the transfer portal. I did a little bit of a primer there on Sunday when you were at a very important pickleball tournament and mandatory dinner. I'll ask you how that went here. I don't know,
It went
but it did.
well.
Okay,
Yeah, it was probably the last warm day we're gonna get, and I say warm, it was in the 50s, but it was the last warm-ish day to play pickleball that we're gonna get probably until like March. So we had to take advantage, apparently.
yeah, life marches on, and everything like that. I've been sober since Georgia lost because we're doing a dry January here up in the ATL.
Yep, dry January is I could use a cocktail, I'll tell you that right now.
This year, man, it hurts.
All
So
7 days, man. It's been
it's been a week here. So I'm going to update the top 50 prospects for the 2026 college football transfer portal. Right now, 5 Eastern, 3 Mountain here on Wednesday afternoon, just basically where we've got people committed.
Mhm.
It has gone official since I last recorded. Brennan Sorsby is going to Texas Tech. I said LSU. That was wrong.
Yeah.
Drew Messamaker's obviously at Oklahoma State. Um, Mateen Ibarogba goes from Wake Forest to Texas Tech. I know you probably pay more attention to ACC country, but I think that's a huge get there for the Red Raiders.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're losing a ton on the defensive line, obviously, to the NFL, and looks like they're just going to replenish it. Which, when you got that oil money, here we go.
It'd be like that. And Amarian Miller is going from one side of the pregame in Colorado to Arizona State. Um, who was Arizona State's quarterback? They got somebody, right?
Oh, they were connected to someone. I don't know if they got anyone. Hold on, let me sort this by position real quick.
Yeah,
Make it a little easier.
but he is doing that. So
They
that's
got the kid from Kentucky, Cutter Boley.
Cutter Bowl. Yeah, Cutter Bowl is good.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, that ain't bad. Caleb Hawkins, I mentioned, he's going to Oklahoma State from North Texas. Byron Brown is following Alex Galesh from South Florida to Auburn. Carius Kern going from LSU to Ole Miss. Got to get the other side of Magnolia. Devin Tompkins not only decided not to go to Georgia from USC, but he's already enrolled at Alabama. Just kill me. Um,
That's
Nick
tough.
Mar Nick Marsh from going the other side of the brass spittoon from Michigan State to Indiana.
Mhm.
Rocco Beck Rocco going from Iowa State to Penn State.
I mean, that was predictable. I'm glad it's happening though for Matt Campbell's sake. Like I think bringing in a quarterback who you spent the past 2, 3 years with, like that's probably what you need when you're going into a new environment.
100%. Coach said keeps cleaning up. He gets Kansas State edge rusher Toby Onsunsami. I could not be stopped. I could not say that in the previous episode.
I mean, I don't even want to embarrass myself and try.
No, but I think you could say Hollywood Smothers. He
Yes,
leaves NC
sir.
State for Alabama. They might have a running game next year or not, but he's going there.
They have a good running back. Whether or not they have a run game remains to be seen.
Terrell Anderson, wide receiver, goes from NC State to USC.
Hmm.
I just mentioned that. Ty Benefield, Boise State to LSU. Benjamin Brahmer, another guy going from Ames to Abbey Valley.
Hmm.
Colton Price, that's one way to spell Colton.
That is
He's
one way to do it.
going from Baylor
What
to
if it's
Kentucky.
What if it's Coleton? That's how he pronounces it.
I mean, is his sister's name like Chardley or something?
100%. There's no question about that.
I'll admit, I got in trouble yesterday with the Arizona State podcast saying if our children have friends with dumb names like that, I'd say you're allowed to bully them in school because I don't want to because their parents are probably stupid and I don't want to hang out with them.
I don't want to go to their birthday parties. That's where it really comes down to.
That's the one downside of potentially having children one day is like, it's not like the responsibilities and having to be on my P's and Q's. It's just having to associate with people that the only thing we have in common is we live in the same area and we happen to have sex around the same time.
Yeah, our kids are friends. Sick.
That's so cool. Josh Hoover going to TCU to Indiana, fantastic fit. John Tez Williams, cousin John Tez, going from Iowa State to USC. He'd give you a shout out about that.
No, he didn't let me know it ahead of time, unfortunately.
No, that's too bad. But we did kind of know that Austin Simmons is going from Ole Miss to Mizzou.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot from Mizzou. After losing Bo Pribula, I think that's with Drink staying around, I like that a lot.
Hell yeah. Amarion Harris going from Arkansas to Oklahoma because you can do that.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
someone at Oklahoma's got a block.
Yeah, they'd be like that. Eugene Wilson III, aka Trey Wilson, going to the other side of LSU from Florida to LSU, and then Trey Wisner going from Texas to Florida State. A lot of other stuff out here too. That's basically everybody who's committed in the top 50 at this point. I'll let you take the lead here. Is there any player that's uncommitted right now that you feel like the shoe's going to drop here pretty soon, or you has your intrigue?
I would say I'm not going to include Sam Levitt in this necessarily. I mean, Cam Coleman has my attention, and he's obviously one of the best players in the portal, and I'm not trying to do that, but I think because he was at Auburn and part of Auburn's lack of quarterbackness that Hugh Freeze was dealing with, I think people like on a national scale aren't aware of how damn good this guy is. Like this dude has a chance that not just has a chance, is likely going to be a first round pick at wide receiver if he lives up to his potential. He's that good. He has a huge frame, but like athletic traits for a 6'3" frame that you don't necessarily see. He's built like an NFL player and like he's not Jeremiah Smith, but he's like in the same mold of just being like just a fully formed adult playing college football.
I did mention this a little bit in writing about it for Dawn of the Dog. So he's from Phoenix City, Alabama, which is just the other side of the Chattahoochee from Columbus, Georgia. Again, that's the major metroplex that Auburn draws from.
Mhm.
The chances of him going to Alabama, I think, are high. I think A&M's another player for him too, but like
Texas as
if
well.
Texas, maybe Georgia in the periphery, if you will, probably not. But the fact that Auburn's losing this guy is such an indictment, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's Hugh Freeze built a recruiting class and didn't, he it's like he did a puzzle and then forgot to do like the border of it. Like that's really what it seems like.
When you do a puzzle, do you do the border first or you just go? Because I just go.
See, I'm a border guy. Got to do the border first.
Hell yeah, you and Julie Bean would get along great.
Hell, yeah, that was a given.
Yeah, what in the hell's going on with cousin Demond Williams?
Well, I don't even know if he's actually in the transfer portal at this point. That was the next thing I was going to talk about, but so he had already signed his contract with Washington before trying to go into the portal with a do not contact tag, which not a clear sign of tampering that I've ever seen. You already signed a contract and then you're trying to enter the portal. But apparently there's language in that contract that says you're not allowed to enter the portal. Like, and I believe it was a $3.5 million agreement. So it's not like chump change that we're talking about here. And who knows how this is going to work out, but like this is kind of one of those like a watershed moment for the transfer portal because we've seen like we've talked about it before. This is kind of a lawless business right now in the transfer portal. Like tampering is going on relentlessly. There's a reason that like 90% of what feels like Iowa State's roster was already on their way to Happy Valley when Matt Campbell got the job. Like this stuff is happening nonstop. Now we have someone breaking a contract. And so where we go from here, we're way too early in the process to know what the end game with this is going to be, but whichever side this rules, we're either going to get a power shift kind of back to the universities and these programs, or we're going to get even more of a power shift to the players.
If he is able to go, because let's be real, everybody in college football just treats Washington like a stepping stone. Like
100%.
they don't respect it. It's the same thing like Xavier is this in college basketball, where it's
Yeah.
like it's the best job you leave.
Right.
And like Kalen DeBoer left. I mean, Penix would have left if he could have left. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just how it goes. But obviously, I don't know if he necessarily jived with Jed Fish, but he's still back there. I think LSU is the place to kind of watch for Demond Williams, depending on what Sam Levitt does. And I don't know if Andy Staples was trolling with all the goody stuff that Tennessee has to provide, Moonshine Mountain cookies and stuff. I mean, Sam Levitt goes to Tennessee.
It's a bad choice on his part for his NFL future because I think he has one, but not at
Yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah, you're going to be playing the most gimmicky offense in college football. It's no, you're better off just turning pro.
You better off going to Florida, if we're being honest. Like if we want to talk
Because
about like Andy Staples trolling, he's probably trolling from a Florida angle, and you're better off going to Florida and playing for John Summerall.
yeah, break Aaron Philo's will to compete.
Yeah, 100%.
And then the other guy who's out there just not respecting contracts, Damon Wilson. The second is back in the portal with Mizzou, who's actively getting sued by Georgia. Mizzou might sue him, and he, basically he needs to go to Ohio State, or else he's gonna be more in debt than like somebody who's trying to be a brain surgeon.
Yeah, he's gonna need to cash in on some NIL to pay the legal fees. That's where we're at with Damon Wilson. He's a good player. Don't get me
Oh yeah,
wrong, but
yeah, man. I'm just that's not going super hot here. Coy Parrish, the safety from Minnesota. It feels like Corey Hellerman's going to try to get him to come to Miami.
yeah, I think so. That would make a lot of sense too. Or another potential spot that hasn't necessarily been mentioned, but Oregon tends to recruit its safety room through the portal. We watched them do it with Thineman this year out of Purdue,
Yes.
and would make sense there because Thineman's going to the NFL draft. So
Moving on down. Until proven otherwise, I'm just convinced DJ Lagway is going to go to Baylor. Also, shout out to, or not shout out to Florida State. You say DJ Lagway goes there, talks to Gus Malzahn, thinking he's going to be like the next Cam Newton, and then in less than 24 hours, they signed former Stanford and Auburn quarterback Ashton Daniels.
never
What
change,
a
Gus. Never change.
what a kick in the balls that is.
To be clear, I think DJ Lagway is a much better player, but like that's neither here nor there.
Yes. So what's going on with the portal with from like a North Carolina standpoint? With Georgia right now, it's not going well. We got Khalil Barnes to come in from Clemson right now, and it's looking like Isaiah Canyon, the wide receiver from Georgia Tech, is probably going to turn heel and come to Athens.
Well, I gotta tell you, lot more exits out of the North Carolina program than entrances, so doesn't make me feel great considering you're
Now,
coming off a horrible season. I don't know, man. We should have fired Belichick. That's really what it comes down to. I don't know why we're still doing this.
we fired Raheem Morris. So
Yeah.
that's
Also,
cool.
shouts to John Harbaugh getting fired. Did not see that coming.
I think he just apparently it got really nasty. Lamar Jackson's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And honestly, I don't want John Harbaugh in Atlanta. I don't think I think
No,
it's the same like I can't impact a game sort of thing. Give me Clint Kubiak or Kevin Stefanski, please.
Stefanski be sick. Would you? So kind of the scuttlebutt right now. Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner, is a longtime connected party to John Harbaugh. And obviously Mike McDaniel is still employed. If he were to not be employed, would you want him in Atlanta?
Yeah, I take Mike McDaniel. I take
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur if Green Bay let him go.
Yeah.
Don't give me Mike LaFleur. Give me the real deal.
Yeah. Matt, not Mike. Got it.
And if we get Cliff Kingsbury, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna be a college fan now.
There we go.
Dude, it's just it's so much stuff is going on here. But transfer portal right now, I'm trying to think winners. Obviously, Indiana's been cleaning up on it, and obviously the coaches that we've mentioned a lot, whether that be Eric Morris at Oklahoma State, uh, Alex Galesh at Auburn, and Matt Campbell at Iowa State. James Franklin at Virginia Tech too are getting their guys to basically kind of come over from their previous employers. So
Yeah,
employers, schools, whatever employers. I don't know, man. It's tough, dude.
potato, potato. It's the same thing.
Potato, potato. And on that note, let's move on to our second topic with some do Hast or do Hast.
Yes, sir.
I guess we're gonna do three parts here because that's how my brain is working right now. I've got one synapse going right now. It's unbelievable.
But it's gonna fire 3 times right now, so it's gonna be sick.
Pew, pew, pew. Uh, Cody, do Hast or do Hast? Will the plans put forth by whether it's Eric Morris leaving North Texas to Oklahoma State, Alex Galesh going from South Florida to Auburn, or Matt Campbell going from Iowa State to Penn State, like basically getting everybody and their brother to come? Are those going to work? I think we're very bullish on James Franklin working from Penn State to Virginia Tech
Yeah.
just because that's, you're going down as opposed to going up like all three of those are. How are you feeling about those? If you want to split them up, you sure as hell can.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to split them up because I have different feelings on each of them. Eric Morris at Oklahoma State, I love it. This is Duhast 1S with a bullet. There's nowhere to go but up at Oklahoma State right now. Like, it was a disaster. It's been a disaster the past 2 seasons, and you're bringing in a dude, and I mean, I starting with Mestamaker. Like, you're bringing in arguably what could have been one of the hottest commodities on the transfer portal at the quarterback position, and you just bring him along with his head coach to the P5. Obviously, a great move for both of them to be able to do that, but that immediately raises the baseline from Oklahoma State for something they haven't had a quarterback the past 2 seasons. It's been
No.
awful, and like when you think about Oklahoma State when they were thriving under Mike Gundy, it all came down to the offense, and it seems like it's what Eric Morris is trying to immediately institute because obviously North Texas offense was productive, prolific.
Yeah, I'm due Host one us for this as well. It's going to work with Oklahoma State because you've got the three-headed monster there with Drew Maker, running back Caleb Hawkins, and then wide receiver Wyatt Young, who Michigan was after.
Hmm.
Michigan's having a tough time with the portal right now, too, under Kyle Whittingham, but the vibes are still kind of high because it's Kyle Whittingham and not Shrem Moore.
100%. Kyle Whittingham can make chicken salad out of chicken ass. So
Yeah, man, he can do anything.
that's right.
I don't know if he can fly, and I don't know how you're feeling about Auburn with Golesh going from South Florida to Auburn with that.
So I'm due Host on 1S with this one, but for a different reason, somewhat. I think that in Oklahoma State's case, like I think just getting talent that the coach is familiar with and that he knows can produce, I think is a big thing. With Auburn, I think I think is smart to try and reset the culture to some degree. These are guys who have been in his program, know what he's about, know what he's going to do, and like they can be leaders in that locker room for the guys who he retains from Hugh Freeze's roster, the guys he brings in from elsewhere in the transfer portal. So with how discombobulated or Auburn has been over the past few years under Hugh Freeze, like I think getting someone in there and him getting his guys in there, particularly Byron Brown, like getting those guys in there to kind of just set a tone. Like I don't think Auburn's going to be a world beater next year. I don't think this is a move. Like I'm not due Haas 1S'ing this because I think that this immediately makes Auburn an SEC contender by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think there's any world where Auburn is an SEC contender. I think that you have to have a cultural shift for that to be the case, and I think this is the right way to go about the cultural shift.
I'm on the other side of the coin than you. I'm Duos two S's
Okay.
because this feels kind of like even like a lesser version of Kalen DeBoer going to Alabama.
Okay. Okay.
You're kind of coming in there with our kind of guys, like South Florida. Like South Florida was trash prior to like Alex Kalesh taking over. Yes, Byron Brown, a lot of these other guys are really talented and play really hard for them. But all these players that I see leaving Auburn right now,
Yeah.
I'm like, I understand like Eric Singleton's turning pro. You got Xavier Chaplin along the offensive line, obviously, namely Cam Coleman, everything like that.
Yeah. Connor
Maybe
Liu
you'll,
turning
yeah,
pro as well.
yeah, he only played like half the year,
Yeah.
probably the top center prospect as well. But you may have to reset the culture, but you may be looking at like a very rough like first year at Purdue for Barry Odom type of year next year for Auburn.
Yeah, I think it's not out of the question that I would imagine that Auburn's 2026 season looks a lot like Arkansas's 2025 season, where the offense is productive. You see some signs, but the wins aren't there.
And I think that's fair. I'm glad we kind of split on there. How are you feeling about the Iowa State, Penn State movement?
I considering how high we were on the hire, I'm surprising myself and saying two Haas, two S's. I don't like this. This feels like a step back, if I'm being completely honest. Like I'm happy about like I think the Rocco Beck addition is a good thing for Penn State. I think that's what Matt Campbell needed to do to kind of just get a fresh start at quarterback after Drew Aller fell so woefully short of expectations in Happy Valley. Having said that, this Iowa State team last year wasn't that good. They were fine,
No,
but they weren't that good. And now you're basically like the last I saw was 19 Iowa State players that have transferred to Penn State. Like you're basically just rebuilding Iowa State in Happy Valley. And like that's not going to work. That's
no.
not going to work out well for you in the Big Ten. And so like I look at this and like it just feels like a step back. Like yes, James Franklin has plenty of faults. And like I know I say step back, like obviously we're coming off a really abysmal 2025 season, but I mean that's not the standard that James Franklin set at Penn State. That was a year from hell for James Franklin in the Penn State program. He's the driver for a reason, man. You've been winning 10 games and like with the Iowa State roster playing in the Big 10, playing in the upper echelon of the Big 10, you're not winning 10 games.
I mean, and Matt Campbell's also the driver. He just drives down here. He's 7-5.
That's right, baby.
Two S's with this as well because look, I think Rocco Beck's a massively better player than Drew Aller because he has something called a spark.
He has light behind his eyes.
I think anybody that's comparable to JJ McCarthy just sucks inherent hellacious ass.
It's fair.
Like,
It's fair.
but you don't take this job to bring Iowa State with you. You bring some people. You don't bring, the whole band. JP can't come too.
That's
Uh,
right.
because I think you'll be about 7-5 in the Big Ten, but you're going to be effectively a more talented version of Minnesota, and Minnesota might win more games than you because I think PJ Fleck just has a better feel for this conference because he's been thriving there and winning bowl games for a decade.
Yeah, 100%. And like that's a really good way to put it. Like you basically are Minnesota at this point. And like I know Penn State fans are happy to have Matt Campbell as their head coach. I don't think they're good. Like I think it's going to be a pretty tumultuous year one if we don't see him make meaningful additions outside of bringing Iowa State players into Penn State.
Yeah, so I think it's good. We agree both on Oklahoma State because you can only go up from here with Shania Twain.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, like they have talented players on the roster, which is more than I could have said about the past 2 years.
we're kind of down on Penn State because the talent's a major pullback,
Hmm.
and then we're split on Auburn because Auburn needs a reset, but also Auburn, there's a lot of talent leaving Auburn. A lot of mad talent. And they'll go,
100%.
yeah. Yeah, if Cam Coleman replaces like Casey Concepcion at Texas A&M, that wouldn't shock me.
No, 100% not.
No, but what would shock me though is if next year the Atlanta Falcons and the Dallas Cowboys make the playoffs. You kidding me? uh,
Yeah.
you guys don't play defense. I think I put CJ Allen would be a decent fit for you guys if you trade back a little bit.
So I'm actually in the process. This will go up on Thursday on fansided.com of writing a full first round mock draft. I have Sonny Styles going at
Yeah.
12, and then on the back end, Cassius Howell in
Right.
the with their second first round pick.
And I don't care about the draft here. I'm convincing myself that Kyler Murray is going to be our starting quarterback next year. God
There might
damn
be a
it.
Kyler Murray featured in this mock draft. We'll see.
I know Kirk Cousins is gone because you got to free up some cap space. I don't know. It's so tough to know how the Falcons' job is. Like the Ravens is its own thing, and the Giants are trying to convince you it's going to be different this time. And same with us, and same with every other team here. All I know is the Titans are going to be terrible.
The Titans are still going to be bad. They got a lot of work to do.
Did you see the lights go out on Mike Borgonzi when he's doing?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
I'm sure there's a country song that I don't know about that's about that basically.
It's the light. That's the night that the lights went out in Nashville.
Jesus. Um, I can't. I have nothing to follow there, but our thoughts about heading into the national semifinals. They're going to be underway this week. Tomorrow, when the show comes up, it's going to be the Fiesta Bowl between number 6 Ole Miss and number 10 Miami, just like we all planned.
Yeah,
And then
just as everyone predicted.
on Friday, it's going to be a game that a lot of people predicted would be number 1 Indiana versus number 5 Oregon and Atlanta. Don't go to Hartsfield right now. People are going to be completely confused. Like it's not warm here yet. Well, it's kind of warm today, but that's okay.
And I mean, it's, people are leaving Bloomington, Indiana. They don't know what Atlanta is.
They're gonna be shocked to know that like we've been replacing Indiana in that show Stranger Things.
That's right. This looks just like Hawkins. That's crazy.
Dude, they made like an Airbnb, I think in like College Park where people can stay. It's like the house that has all the twinkly lights in it.
The original buyer's house.
Yeah, the original buyer's house, not the one that I guess Murray was there. Maybe Murray's just the guy who takes care of you.
Murray's the groundskeeper. That'd be sick.
He comes in with Arnold Palmer's.
Oh man, how was the pullout, Jonathan?
But power ranking characters from Stranger Things who I like and who I don't like. Jonathan Byers sucks,
Oh,
dude.
dude, you can miss me with Nancy and Jonathan, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much. Not the biggest Lucas fan either. He's just kind of a sad boy.
Yeah, it's tough because like I think Caleb McLaughlin, the kid who plays him, I think he's
Yeah.
actually a really good actor.
Oh yeah, he acts his ass off. I think Lucas just stinks.
I think it's just a badly written part, quite frankly.
But the best person in that show, besides Murray, Joe Harrington, dude. No.
Jo
Robin's the best.
Robin's the best, and then Joe Keery, Steve Harrington, yeah, 100%. I'm that duo. Yeah, I'd let them babysit me anytime.
I mean, they should just do their own show of Friends, basically. They're old enough to do
100%.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you get to the final episode, get back to me about Robin and we'll talk about her.
Okay, 100%.
The point spreads right now for the this national semifinals, not national championship. Right now, right this instant, Wednesday, you got Miami laying 3.5 in Phoenix, and then you've got Indiana laying 3.5 in Atlanta. We'll make our picks here momentarily. Any kind of thoughts leading into this that you want to bring to the table, like we're doing traders before we vote?
I'll say that one of the things, and like this kind of leads perfect, like this leads well into us making picks here in a second. I've had a really hard time trying to decide for both of these games because I can
Yeah,
talk myself into both side of either game.
what we've seen out of all four teams up to this point, with the two games that Oregon, Ole Miss, and Miami have all played, showed us a lot,
Mhm.
showed us some steadiness about them, and then Indiana has just been the best team all year long.
100%. And like Oregon has been unsteady. Oregon's lost to Indiana, but as you've said many times, it's hard to beat the same team twice, especially when they're as well coached as Oregon is under Dan Lanning, Will Stein, and Tosh Lupoi. Like that's not going to be an easy task for Curt Cignetti's team at all. And then on the flip side of that, like Miami's defense has just been suffocating through these first two games, man. They've allowed a total of 17 points against Texas A&M and M and Ohio State, two teams that know how to score the damn football. And now they're up against another team that knows how to score the football. But at the same time, like I also think Ole Miss's offense is playing better than both A&M and Ohio State were going into those games. So like I don't like there are both sides of this. Like I said, I can talk myself into either sides of these matchups and feel good about it. Like that's where I've been at since these matchups were set. It is like from a prognostication standpoint, it sucks because like it's very difficult. But from a college football fan perspective, it's a hell of a lot of fun because I think these are going to be two really good games.
I think all four of these teams can win the national championship at this point. Again, I think the underseeded teams have the talent to do it. I think Indiana just executes at a high level. I think they're the least talented team, but
It's
they're
probably
also the
fair,
best team.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it may all come down to the coordinators to be straight with you. Because I mean, like Pete Golding, like we don't know. Maybe he's the greatest coach of all time.
100%. We don't know. He's the prince who was promised from the Nick Saban coaching tree.
And man, he's just producing pomegranate, dude.
That's
Just
right.
Eve, where you at? Um, if there's okay, I'm going to remove Georgia from the equation just because I don't want to spend more time on that. If there's one team that was in the playoff outside of Georgia that you would have liked, and you could even throw Georgia in there too. I would pick somebody else like that you wish was playing at this stage right now, just to see them uh, being one game away from a national championship. Who would you have liked to have seen?
I think it would have been most interesting to me to see Texas A&M in this spot, just
Yeah,
because like narratively, like Texas A&M is. I mean, Texas A&M very much fills the Miami spot in this, where it's like it's felt like untapped potential for a decade. And like you've never really gotten to this point. And like I would have loved to see Texas A&M do that and see what Texas A&M looked like with like this type of postseason momentum. Because this is the first time we've seen them in the college football playoff. Like this would have been untrodden territory for them. And like with the ball rolling kind of in the way that it is for Ole Miss and Miami right now, I would have enjoyed seeing what Texas A&M looked like in that because the thing with Texas A&M that I never trusted is it never felt like they were clicking on all cylinders. It felt like they out talented most of the like worst teams on their schedule that they played. But when it came to a Texas, when it came to Miami in that game, like you couldn't out talent them, and then you didn't really necessarily have the X's and O's or the execution to be able to get it done at this level. So I wish they had those, you know, those I's dotted to more of a degree because I think it would have been fun narratively to see them in this spot.
That's a great one. I'm glad you picked that one because I thought we were gonna get the same one. I totally agree. Like Texas A&M, like the talent's there. We could have seen them in this different stage and really changed the narrative. I would have liked to see what Texas Tech could have done in a
Mhm.
spot where like maybe like there's been a handful of NFL teams in the past where like they shouldn't really be here, but they kind of go in, they blow stuff up. And these have been some of my favorite NFL teams over the years, whether that's the 98 original Dirty Bird Falcons, the 17 Jaguars. I'm trying to think the Carolina Panthers, the 15. Like there's been teams like this over the years. Honestly, your 16 Cowboys were kind of like this too, a
Yeah,
little bit,
no,
where like
definitely.
when you have a team like that that's just really good on one side of the ball, not so much on the other,
I
but
mean, the
the
Broncos and Seahawks, the two number one seeds in this year's playoffs, both check that box because you got Bo Nix and Sam Darnold quarterbacking these offenses, but they're like the two best defenses in the NFL.
I saw Sam Darnold's got the best odds of winning Super Bowl MVP, and I'm like, this is just this is the timeline we're in right now, man.
It's the darkest timeline.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's but the Texas schools would have been kind of fun to see in this stage, but
Yeah.
you know, obviously Georgia and Ohio State, we've seen them compete here. We know what that's about. Obviously, James Madison and Tulane, it wasn't happening.
No, no. And like I thought about Texas Tech, but the what I came down on was just the idea of like I still would be worried about the offense. You know what I mean? If they were to get to this point, I would still be like, yeah, but can their offense do it again? Like had the offense shown up against Oregon and they get to this point, can they do it again against a team as well coached as Indiana with the, you know, with the talent that Indiana does have? Like with Texas A&M, like it felt self-inflicted because they had the talent to be at this point.
And then with Alabama and Oklahoma, it just would have been a waste of everybody's time. Like,
Yes.
also, I'm glad Ty Simpson declared he should go be QB3 and get a first round grade. And he'll get drafted in the first round. I think he's going to be pretty good. I think Dante Moore's got the higher ceiling of Mendoza,
Yeah.
but I think Simpson has the potential to, if he goes to the right spot, like if he goes to the Rams, man. Oh yeah.
I have the Browns sniping him from the Rams in this mock draft, which is brutal for Ty Simpson.
I don't know if you saw this. I'm not going to put this right around blast. Somebody mentioned that, you know, Coach Sig could go to the Raiders to lead Mendoza, which I'm just like, no.
Nah, don't see that happening.
No, I think Mendoza was gonna have a lot of fun with the Raiders. I just don't know who the hell is gonna coach him.
Somebody, somebody will coach you.
Um, watch Cliff Kingsbury go replace Matt Nagy in Kansas City.
That would be sick. That'd be a good landing spot. And honestly, I think the Chiefs probably need that too.
Yeah. If you're the Raiders, maybe you get like Callahan. I think you got a broad deal with the Titans a little bit.
Maybe I think it would. I think Callahan's gonna have to cut his teeth again as a coordinator before a team gives him a chance. I don't like. I'm with you that it wasn't entirely his fault that roster's ass, but like I do think that he probably needs some image rehabilitation. Let's say it that way. I like if I were looking at the Raiders, like I would expect that they make a really heavy push for Harbaugh because I think that's someone that Brady would like to hire in that role.
Mhm. We know
And
we
he's
know
going to be.
Jim
Go
we know
ahead.
Jim thinks highly. We don't think Jim thinks highly of the Raiders. That was
Yeah.
his first NFL gig. Obviously, coaches the Chargers, but he also played for them. Yeah, John Harbaugh goes to the Giants. That's going to be just mayonnaise on bread, dude.
No, the Giants are going to do something stupid like hire Mike McCarthy. That interview's already set up. So
Uh,
they
uh,
nothing the Giants love more than a Cowboys castoff who's already been a retread. Shouts out Jason Garrett.
Shout out Matt Ryan's getting an interview tomorrow with Arthur Blank.
an interview for a position that it seems like they just made for him. So
The one thing is, he is pretty tight with Ryan Poles and Brian Flores from their time at BC. So maybe Ian
mhm.
Cunningham leaves the Bears, and maybe Flores is the coach for the Falcons, which, of course, should be that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Flores is a damn good coach,
Yeah,
but we'll see how it works out.
I know he disrespects quarterbacks as much as a Ryan,
Yes.
a buddy, or a Rex, or the one that doesn't like toes.
That'd be former Cowboys defensive coordinator Rob Ryan.
Yes, but my brother has the foot fetish, the fetish, and not me.
I don't like feet. I just want to clear that
We look the
up.
same. I have long hair and I don't like feet. God, it's so good to have you back on the show. And on that, let's get the second half of our show with some you better Euro check yourself before you wreck yourself. Let's make our picks.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with the Fiesta Bowl again. Miami is laying 3.5 to Ole Miss at State Farm Stadium in Glendale.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ole Miss to pull off the slight upset here.
Let's go.
Um, the as impressive as Miami has been to this point, I don't think that their defense can pitch a shutout every single week. This is a team that lost to SMU. This is a team that lost to Louisville. And like, I don't think we can overlook those. Like, yes, they're playing really well. They have played really well in the first two rounds, but we've also seen with Miami that they can come down. More importantly, though, as Miami has been doing this, yes, their defense has held opponents to a total of 17 points for the first two games. They also have scored a total of 34. They're not lighting the world on fire offensively right now. And when you look at Ole Miss, if the defense doesn't pitch a shutout in the same way for Miami, Ole Miss can reach a number that I don't think Miami can. And I think when I start to like play out the outcomes of this game, the ones where Trinidad Chambliss doesn't make an impact are few and far between. And like that's where I keep coming back to it is I think Trinidad Chambliss is the best player on either of these offenses. And I think he's going to be the difference maker that gets it done.
I'm right there with you. I'm going Ole Miss too.
Hell yeah, brother. Let's go.
This changed at the very last second. I thought that the game is going to be decided on if the Ole Miss offensive line can contain the incredible pass rush of Miami put forth by Ruben Bain Jr. and Akeem Mesidor. Again, Bain's a top five pick. Mesidor maybe has an outside shot of the first round. I think Mesidor is a guy that like
He's a
people
top
like.
100 guy if he wasn't like 25.
Yeah, no, but people he's going to work in the NFL. I don't
Oh,
know.
100%.
Yeah, I'd love to get him in, replace Braylon Trice who can't play. You know?
Right.
Um, for as good as that is, you are absolutely right. I think there's a point total that Trinidad Chambliss can get within the context of Charlie Weiss Jr.'s offense that I don't think that Shannon Dawson can scheme open with Carson Beck.
Agreed. And like, there's also a world where Ole Miss gets hot early offensively, which they've been really, really solid in terms of their opening scripts throughout the entire season. We saw it twice against Georgia. They looked good early on offensively in these games. I think that'll be the case against Miami. If you get Carson Beck pressing, that's the worst case scenario for Miami.
Also, this is Ole Miss is one of the few teams he's actually lost to in his college career.
Yeah, 100%.
The other thing is, maybe I'm wrong here. I think Chambliss is going to apply for the waiver, the same thing
Mhm.
that Diego Pavia did. So effectively, he gets to play out next year anyway. He's not going to transfer. So
Yeah, he's signed. From my understanding, he signed a deal to stay at Ole Miss regardless of or in hopes that the waiver gets cleared. But like he what if it does, he's staying. If it doesn't, he's going to the NFL draft. Those are his two options at this point.
And I think it's going to be mid-tier scoring. I think you're looking at a final score of probably something like Ole Miss 30,
Mm.
Miami 24.
That's exactly you're right. We're right in the same ballpark. I was thinking 31-27, something in that range.
So pour one out for Miami not getting to play for a national championship in their home stadium.
I know. And honestly, like it probably shouldn't, but I'm always going to pick against the team that's good, like has the chance to play in their home stadium because we don't see it that often. It becomes a popular narrative. It doesn't happen.
Dude, it was so funny watching this 49ers just throw up all over themselves. They could have not had to leave and they're the sixth seed. And they're gonna play the Eagles and they might lose. They have a hard time with the Eagles, don't they?
I think they beat him earlier in the year with Mac Jones, if I'm not mistaken.
It's Brock Purdy, so it doesn't matter.
Just put Mac in.
Also, the Rams are gonna win this weekend.
Oh yeah, 100%. Shouts out Panthers, baby.
They're playing their ass off. They don't have a lot of talent though.
The Panthers are a very like the Panthers are a very well coached team that just has a quarterback who's not very good, has a defense that's
No,
really bad.
no. Dave Canellis and Here Ever are fantastic. Dan Morgan's just like, I can't make anything out of what you got in the pantry right now.
Yeah, we got salt and salt. That's right.
All right, let's move on to the Peach Bowl on Friday night, which will be coming to you guys semi-live afterwards with 3 yards and a cloud of punt. We'll recap both games here, and we're gonna put one team in run, one team in run, another team in pass, and another team in punt. So it's gonna be great.
Yes, sir. Against against my better judgment, I'm going with Indiana in this game, man. And I think it actually might not be close. Um, I think we've sung Oregon's praises, and I think they deservedly so. Like, I don't want to like disparage Oregon. I think Indiana is just a better team. Oregon has more draftable talent. Oregon has the better roster. I think Indiana has the better coach. I think that Indiana has the better culture. I think Indiana has the better scheme. I just think that what we saw in Eugene wasn't a fluke. And to the point of the rematch, it is hard to beat the same team twice. I think the fact that they beat them in Eugene matters a hell of a lot in this game. I think the fact that it wasn't a comfortable environment, the fact that they had to go across the country to a hostile Autzen Stadium and they still put a double digit beating on Oregon. I think when you're Oregon and you are in the position of you've never been this far before in the 12 team playoff and you've reached a semifinal before and it didn't go particularly well for you. And so like I look at all of this and I'm just like I think Indiana knows exactly what they want to accomplish and they're going to go out there and accomplish it.
I'm right there with you. I will say this: I think Autzen Stadium is the most overrated home environment in college football.
Oh, I think that's fair. I mean, it only seats what, like 60,000?
If and like underrated, I think when South Carolina is good, Williams Brice is so tough.
Oh, God, yeah.
I also think other places I think they're overrated home wise. I think Kyle Field's overrated.
Oh, yeah. God. Yeah, I would just
Um,
laugh if I was in Kyle Field.
yeah, I think honestly, I think the Big House is overrated too.
I think I think in terms of effect on the game, you might be right there. I think in terms of aesthetic, I think the big house is sweet.
Oh yeah, I think aesthetic, like all three of these games are cool, but in terms of the effect on the game, it's not the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah. I'm kind of right there with you. I think Indiana wins by a considerable margin. You bring up a fantastic point that, the fact that Indiana beat Oregon in Eugene by 2 scores on the road early in the season matters. And I think, look, Dante Moore is the only way Oregon's gonna win here is if Dante Moore says, like, I'm just more talented than you, Fernando Mendoza, which he might be. But I think from the draft prospect, he just has the wider variance of the two. I don't
Oh
know who
yeah.
you have comped for Dante Moore. Fernando Mendoza is Matt Ryan, and people in like Las Vegas are mad about that. And like, why?
Yeah,
Like, why?
I don't understand.
No, I don't understand that. Like, if you get Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, and Matt Ryan with the first pick, you take it like every time.
100%. And also like I keep saying that like I think he's more athletic than all three of those guys too. So like you're getting those guys with athleticism, which is one of their biggest drawbacks at the pro level.
Yes. The reason why I think it's going to be Indiana here, beyond just they're being better coached, there's one team that, like, every time we get to the stage, we're like, I don't think he beat anybody who's really good or is flawed. And I think Oregon took advantage of that with James Madison and a Texas Tech offense that couldn't go.
Yeah.
So, and Oregon's immensely talented. I think if Oregon just is focused, they can absolutely do it. But I don't trust them in this spot. Also, I don't think Will Stein's been very good in the playoff.
No, God no. No.
Tosh LaPoy has been fantastic though.
100%. And but like to your point, like yeah, I don't think Will Stein coached a great game in that Texas Tech win. Like the offense
No.
did not look particularly good in my opinion. And part of that is Texas Tech, to be clear. It's one of the best defenses in the country. But had the offense been working at peak capacity, that game could have been 40 to nothing. And it was 20, was it 23 was the final if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I think 23 nothing could have been like
Yeah.
37 nothing.
Yeah, like it shouldn't have been as close as it was. And the offense left a lot of meat on the bone. And to your point there, like I think that one of the things that kills me about Dan Lanning is he almost has like a Dan. He it's almost like he wants to be Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
And in terms of like just vibes going forward on fourth down, just vibes like calling like risky things, you can't do that against Indiana. You really can't. Like they feast on mistakes on like they feast on mistakes like a team that wins a national championship does.
No, you can't beat Indiana like when you're going in there with some Dan Campbell machismo bullshit. You just
No,
can't do it.
no,
Coach Sig's seen everything, man. He's been behind
100%.
he's been behind the Iron Curtain. He's seen it all,
That's
dude.
right, 100%.
So I'm looking at a final score probably of like Indiana 35, Oregon 20.
That dude, that was literally, I swear I'm not just messing with you. That was exactly the score I was gonna say. So yeah, 35-20.
Let's and we so Indiana versus Ole Miss in a game the New Ventures National Championship. Who could have saw this coming? The Paul Red Bowl.
It's the Boca Raton Bowl sponsored by the College Football Playoff.
What if it's the Mario Cristobal Bowl between Miami and Oregon in Coral Gables or Miami Gardens? We won't be shocked anyway.
No.
We're looking forward to two good games. Maybe one of them is because that's how the college football playoff works.
Yeah, we'll probably get a good one between Miami, Ole Miss, and then have a real letdown on Friday.
And speaking of real letdowns, let's go with some strange bowls with Antonio. How you got out of the netting okay? Because we he thought he again Antonio was just a problem with the Duke's Mayo Bowl. He tried to do he's responsible for pouring mayo on all the Dickerts.
Yeah, it was he had more mayo than I've ever seen a human being like possess, and that includes at the Duke's Mayo Bowl. It was appalling to say the least. He was also trying to count cards to your Tom Cruise points, because he thought he was thinking Rain Man, and that wasn't right. And I was like, Tom Cruise doesn't even count cards. What are you doing? He was all over the place. He also got mayo all over our van that we travel around in for bowl season. And rather than clean it up, he put a little mayo on a rag and tried to mop it up with mayo, and that just made it way worse. Now it's in the upholstery.
Yeah, he also decided to find a bunch of hair because we've got long hair, and he covered it, and it looks like the Ford Shaggin' Wagon from Dumb and Dumber.
That's right.
And we're going to the Land of the Arizona State podcast for the Fiesta Bowl, and Antonio is wearing a sombrero the entire time.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I had to talk him out of the maracas. He probably still has a spare pair somewhere, but I had to talk him out of that.
Dude, he's really excited about this because I mean, when he goes to the Valley of the Sun, he communicates more effectively. He's on the Zony wavelength.
Oh, 100%. That's the same education level.
I know. He wants to hang out with Kenny Dillingham, like that's not happening, and he just said Bulldog.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone can lure Kenny out of his recruiting hole, it would be Antonio.
I think so too. I think one of the reasons that Mario Cristobal is kind of threatened by Antonio, to be honest with
Oh
you,
yeah.
because Antonio can put anything in the round hole because he's a plastic blow up doll. He can fit anything in there, and it just blows in Mario's mind.
Got some inappropriate images going through my head currently that I can't really voice in the podcast.
Ladies love cool Antonio.
That's right.
Um, Also, the master of ceremonies, Antonio doesn't understand that Mario's really good in front of a microphone, so he's also thinking about doing some karaoke at midfield, and his song is "Staying Alive" by the Bees.
The bees.
Yes, Barry Hibb, Maurice Hibb, and Robin Hibb. Robin Hibb. Oh, Robin a day, man.
Oh God. Yeah. What do you think Mario Cristobal's karaoke song is?
Won by either U2 or Three Dog Night.
Yeah, that sounds right. 100%.
Either one is the loneliest number or one love, just one.
One
Yes. He's anything with one in there, he's all about it because he can count to one.
That's right. It's as high as he goes.
Yeah. So after we do all this in the fiesta, we got to drive back to my town of Atlanta. I said it like people who are coming here on purpose because that's not how you say it. Antonio is going to direct people on the plane train, and nobody in Hartsfield asked for it, but he's going to do it.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's got a conductor hat because he thinks he's ready to just show everyone the way on the train, and he looks dumb as hell, but it's he's gonna try.
Yeah, he's singing "Who's That Coming Down the Track," and everyone's like, "SEC sucks."
I mean, about 30 minutes into this endeavor, it's gonna be Casey Jones by the Grateful Dead.
I know it's going to be Ozzy Osbourne and Chipper Jones is going to come out there.
Yes, sir.
Dude, he went like on a rant with David O'Brien, who just retired from the AJC and the Athletic, the longtime baseball guy,
Yeah.
talking about the Eric Gregg game of the '97 NLCS, where the guy was calling like pitches like a foot outside to Levon Hernandez, and Chipper's like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, the Eric Gregg game is an all-timer. That's for sure.
I blocked it out of my memory because I was just a really sad 8-year-old boy. But yes,
100%. As you should have been. It was egregious.
so Antonio wants to take Curt Cignetti to the varsity, and I don't think Coach Sigs really want to do that. I think Dan Lanning is going to go somewhere here. He's going to eat at a very nice restaurant. He's probably going to go like the Optimist or something.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, take the machismo to the optimist as always. Yeah, I don't think what do you have will really go over well with Coach Sig. I don't think that's enough manners, quite frankly.
No, and I think he'll tip more at the varsity than Dan Lanning will at the Optimist.
Yeah, his tip will be do better.
Do better. Give me some more melted butter, person.
Where's the nearest tattoo parlor?
Oh, Dan Lanning in the land of Georgia Tech. That's going to be too much for him to handle.
No, God, yeah, too many nerds.
Too many nerds. Who do you think would do better in my neck of the woods at Virginia Highland? Dan Lanning or Coach Sig?
Oh, Coach Sig's someone who's like owned a house in Virginia Highlands for like 30 years and just like is like upset at the community.
Yeah, he's definitely got one of those houses that like is next to the house that they do Porch Fest on. He hates
Yeah,
it.
100%. Yeah, that's Coach Sig. Dan Lanning's more of a
He's a
I feel,
neighbor's guy. He's neighbors right across the street.
yeah, you're not wrong. I was gonna like put him in like in Atlanta, like a Metro Atlanta. Like I feel like Dan Lana is very Smyrna.
Yeah, I know he's probably hanging out with Barrett Sallee.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Smiding's doing that. But yeah, Antonio, he's just he's so happy to be back in Atlanta with me because he's always on his best behavior that he says, which is actually his worst.
100%, which we love. We love the worst version of Antonio.
We do. And you know what else we love? Let's finish it with some good bull here.
Yes, sir.
I think it was at the Rose Bowl with ESPN. The game day was there. Pat McAfee's in the end zone. Coach Sig's talking to like Laura Rutledge or something, and he looks at Pat McAfee probably about a good 150 feet away, and just like the ultimate PowerPoint. It looked like something out of like I thought it was AI for a minute,
Oh yeah,
but we're gonna drive this in the ditch here for a second. I know you got to get back to work here momentarily,
you're
but
good.
just people you wish in life would give you the PowerPoint like that. Just it would make you feel so cool and awesome.
Well, let's take it back to Stranger Things. If Steve the Hair Harrington, Joe Keery gave me that, I'd probably melt on the spot, man.
Could you imagine like seeing him like in a DePaul bar in Chicago when he does that?
Yeah, dude, I'd lose my mind. Unreal.
Speaking of another guy from like DePaul and Chicago, John C. Riley.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Um,
If we want to
uh,
talk about college football coaches, I wish Bill Belichick would do this. I wish that Bill Belichick would do this and it would mean something because he would probably do this and then go get his ass kicked by 30.
I'd like to see a reincarnated Mike Leach do it to me.
Oh God, yeah, 100%. He doesn't even have to be reincarnated. Let him just sit up in the coffin and just.
He only needs to say something about Craig James, and he just goes back.
That's right. I had to get something off my chest.
Um, Shaq at the Krispy Kreme in Atlanta. That'd be cool if he
Oh,
did
that'd
that.
be sick. That'd be sick for sure. Um, Ooh, give it some New Mexico vibes. Bryan Cranston, I feel like could do a good PowerPoint. I feel like he'd be really into that.
You got to watch the studio, man. He's in that.
Okay,
He's in
hell
that.
yeah.
Yeah, he plays the studio exec. He's Seth Rogen's boss.
Okay. Uh,
John Cena, if he did that,
oh yeah.
that'd feel really good about yourself.
I'm gonna flip this on its head for you. Who's one person that you wouldn't like? It would mean the least to you if they did this.
Honestly, I was gonna say a guy that I think would be cool. Steve Buscemi doing it would be
Oh,
awesome.
Steve Buscemi would be awesome.
On the other side of that note, one of the other guys who started with in Airheads, I would not want Adam Sandler to do that to me.
No, it would feel weird. Like I feel like I was in deep trouble.
Yeah, he'd be pointing at me, dressing like he's in middle school, just being like, "Oh my God, did I go out to do stretches in my boxers, man?"
I was gonna say another comedian, Kevin Hart. It would be the most meaningless gesture I've ever seen in my entire life.
No, I would view that as condescension. I don't know what that means. I think it's disrespect. If Bono did that to me, that would suck.
Of course, absolutely.
Blake Lively, if she did that to me, that would be nothing to me.
Oh yeah, no, would not move me at all.
Yeah, it would make Ryan Reynolds jealous, but it's okay.
Hey, maybe that's a plus.
Now, there's somebody else out there, but I'm not going to say his name. But you know who it is.
We all know.
Also, there's a certain beat writer here in Atlanta that I'm not going to say his name. If he did that to me, he can also retire. He can also just kick rocks and
He can go back to his namesake in Florida. I'm assuming that's who you're talking about.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
And and if you wear a bow tie, you are a yellow bedwetter.
100%.
I can't tie one. I can barely tie a tie anymore, but like I'm not doing that.
No, God, no.
You probably do some people in North Carolina who wear bow ties. And you're like, what's wrong with you?
I have a bow tie. I wore one as when I was officiating a wedding.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
that,
not it's
that's
not my go-to attire by any
no,
stretch.
no,
Some
no,
people it's their go-to, and I can't abide by that.
no. You're more of a bolero guy.
Oh, dude, the bolo tie, that's where we're at.
That's where we're at. Um, Pat McAfee did the PowerPoint to me. I would be very happy about that. I know a lot of people in the NCAA division don't think the world of him, but I think he's just a dumb stooge dude just like me, and I love it.
He's a dumb guy that made it. Like, let's appreciate that.
AJ Hawk, that's the best.
Because it just means silence. Like, it doesn't actually mean anything.
I know Brady because his brother-in-law Brady Quinn's like, no, he actually really means this. This is really important. This is good.
That's the most emotion he's ever shown. Oh my God.
Could you imagine if Brady Quinn did that to you in like either the Arizona or the North Carolina State podcast script? He's like, did Superman just point at you? You're like, you're goddamn right he did.
You're damn right. Oh, speaking of worst people to do this, Urban Meyer.
He came to make a bang. And this it was episode 241 of False Start. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter, or the X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at TheSizzle20. You can follow the show at CFP False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. I
Five
can't
star,
believe
five
I,
star review.
I can't believe I almost got away with that. At some point in the off season, we're gonna do a jail in with Eagles of Death Metal.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Enjoy the games, guys. Enjoy the new year. Don't let it kick your ass like Ed Henry. Once again, thanks for listening because this is False Start.